Howdy, I'm known as Dimwit, the last mountain man, feared throughout the land. And this musket here served during the American Civil War, but that's not where it was born. It's a Prussian model 1809/39, and that means it's born in Germany. And if you're familiar with these, you probably notice that this gun has been altered in some ways, and we'll talk about that. But I really can't wait any longer. I just have to shoot this thing. It probably, it could be it's not been fired since the American Civil War. So we'll take that out that I used to keep the snow out. And some of you may not be familiar with the way that I load this gun today. There are lots of different ways to load a smoothbore, and I'm just gonna load and shoot, and then we'll talk a little more about how and why. We're going to start out with 80 grains of Swiss 1.5 FG. Dump that in there. And I'm using 67.7 caliber round ball. Okay. I have kind of a target set up over here, but I'm not sure if I'm hitting anything. Okay, before I tell you about the way I load it, let's talk about the gun some more. These were imported during the American Civil War, mostly by the Union. Now, some people say that the South also got the hold of some from Belgium. I don't know how well that's been documented, but every once in a while they changed hands, you know, battlefield pickups and captures and whatnot. So, and these were not popular. For one thing, they were awful long and heavy, front heavy. They didn't balance well. They were 3-band muskets, and as you can see, this is a 2-band musket. It's been cut down about like that, and the front band has been moved back to where the middle band was, and ramrod used to be a steel ramrod, and that's been replaced with a wooden one, and I made that, and it's got a moose antler tip on it. And let's see what else. Most muskets don't even have a rear sight, but these do. But they're awful big and blocky and ugly. So somebody took a file and modified it. And I didn't do that, but I don't know if Civil War soldier did that or if it's done after the Civil War, but I'll tell you this much, it was not a German soldier. Let's see what else. I changed the shape. I got the original sling swivels for it, and I took one of them and I forged it into the shape I wanted and installed it with a longer screw out here, and I made a swivel mount here from a brass screw and a copper coin, and I put a sling on there. Now I'm the one who cut it down, so but before you hate me, this gun had some damage to the wood out here in front. There was shrinkage, and there was cracking, there was pieces missing, and it looked terrible. And so I thought I'd make this into a more of a usable gun for me. And this is just some decorations to kind of cover up this part here. It's kind of square and ugly, it doesn't look well compared to the rest of the lines of the gun. So, and well, I had to make a new nipple for it. It's difficult to get that kind of a nipple, and I have flared the muzzle out a little bit. These are 71 caliber. And which is 18 millimeters, and I flared this out to 19 millimeters. That's easier to load that way. And the tip of the ramrod is about the same size of the round bolts I'm using, so that will kind of keep the bore clean enough to keep loading. So let's shoot it again. Let's try a little more powder this time. We shot 80 grains, and now we'll do 90. And the Swiss powder is a little bit hotter than the rest of them, so it's quite a powerful load. And so I'm not using any wadding between the powder and the ball, and I'm definitely not using a patch. All I do is put one of these carts on top to keep it in place. And one of the most important way for accurate black powder shooting is what do you call it? You have to be able to do exactly the same thing over and over again. Repeatability, or I can't. Oh, there's another word I was thinking of. And this is, in fact, very much like how they loaded them with paper cartridges. And we're going to try that as well. We got too much junk in there, I think. Should have cleared some of this out before we started. Let's see, here's one. Paper cartridge. Lots of different ways of making these. This is one that I made for 69 caliber American musket, and when you, most of the time when you load these, you pour the powder in and then you shove it down in there with the paper, either between the ball and the powder or on top. And when you do that, and when you do this, you get a lot of escaping powder gases past the round ball. We call that windage. And so you're wasting a little bit of power, so you can use a little more powder. And the theory is that these escaping powder gases will keep the round ball centered going down the bore and improve accuracy. And it's also a quick and easy way to load. So works for me. I'll probably be making some paper cartridges for this gun with the right size bullet, round bowl, but I just want to try some different amounts of powder and such before I do that. This is made out of moose antler to keep my musket caps in. Okay. Let's try to get a steady shot this time. Kaboom! That was more like it. And so now it's not as heavy in front as what they complained about during the American Civil War. But another thing that they complained about was, you see, they used the same paper cartridges as they used for the 69 caliber muskets, and that's way undersized, so that's going to interfere with velocity and power and also accuracy. So let's try paper cartridge made for a 69 caliber musket and see how that works out. And then I'll just, after I pour it, I'll just keep that same motion and push it down in there. Just to make things a little more easier, or more difficult, the cap came off of that antler thing that I made to keep my musket caps in, so now they're all down in there among the round bolts and the cards and a few other things. So I wonder if we can tell the difference in the sound and recoil and muzzle flame maybe. So you watch and listen and see what you think, and there's a tip for you, something I do when I watch the videos. I replay the shooting scenes and I adjust the speed to the slowest speed, and that way you get it in slow motion. It's kind of fun. And so down on the bottom of your screen there, you can click on kind of a gear and you can adjust your speed, so you can watch it again in slow motion. Well, actually wasn't that bad. I could actually see I hit the target this time. I'm not sure about the other ones. So let's shoot it one more time. We'll do the 90 grains once more. If I'm going to do more, I spilled some, so no, okay. If I'm going to put more than 90 grains in, I kind of like to test it with a chronograph first and kind of see where we're at. And 69 caliber gun in good shape should be post-sonic speed, and like a Brown Bess 75 caliber, that's usually subsonic round. So this is something in between there, so this is right around the speed of sound, so 1100 feet per second is good enough for me. Maybe even a little less. That's a heavy round ball, so I wouldn't want to get in its way. It would be nice if we could find a land beat. I'm getting some holes over there. Seems to shoot a little high, and we're probably at 35 yards. And that makes sense. So I'm very happy with this gun. I've done quite a bit of work to it, but it was a real pleasure to work with. It didn't fight me, and I think this would have been a good gun for, just say, like, I'm from Norway, and if I came to the United States right after the Civil War and didn't have a lot of money, I needed a cheap gun. This would be about as cheap as they get. And if I was a little bit handy and had access to a little bit of tools, simple tools, I could do what I have done here and actually have a gun that would work reasonably well for most things. Of course, it's a muzzle loader, and so it's not a Winchester repeating lever action, but I can do just about anything with this. I can shoot round ball, and I can shoot buck and ball. I can shoot buckshot and bird shot. So this means I can take down anything from a small bird with shot. I could easily take down a moose with this gun. So and for self-defense, all right, it's certainly a deterrent. Nobody wants to get hit by something like this, and for guard duty, you can't beat during the night, watch the horses and stuff, so you can't beat a load with buckshot in poor light conditions. So I think I'm happy with this gun, and I think somebody could have been happy with this gun in the years after the Civil War. But if you're somebody with money, you'd probably get a cartridge gun. And they started appearing right after the Civil War. 50-70 government cartridge appeared just a year after the war, 1866. So muzzle loaders got old-fashioned pretty quick. But not everybody had the money, and there were lots of surplus guns from the Civil War that you could buy for next to nothing. And like I said, you could use them for almost anything. So I like this gun. I've gotten into a habit of giving nicknames to some of my guns, and so for some reason it's just smoothbore muzzle loaders, and I got a brown Bess I call Bessie, and I got a really long one that I call Long Tall Sally, and of course you might have seen my video with Satan, Springfield musket, and I think I call this Thunder. Sounds about right. So, and you might have noticed that I'm packing a handgun today, so after I turn the camera off, I'm going to get ready to make one more video. So thanks for watching, and I'll be happy to answer if you got any questions, and and if you haven't already, if you subscribe to my videos, and see you soon. Okay, I have this target set up. I was going to show you. I don't know how well it's going to show, but let's see, here's the cabin. There's the target. I shot at the bottom one. And you can see there's getting kind of fuzzy when you get this close, but there's at least 3, maybe 4. I don't think we did that bad, really. It's a 2-inch wide tape, and that piece of paper is about the size of a man's torso. So, and home sweet home. Bye bye.